Hello students. Today we will start with the topic the brain. Okay, the most important organ of our body. Now I speaking to you is because of brain, and you listening is because of brain. All are of brain. Our life is because of brain. Okay. See this brain basic structures only we are going to first see. We will first see this picture and move on to our notes. Okay, so our brain is of three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So this part is what forebrain. Midbrain consists of this part, and the hindbrain consists of this part. Okay, so the brains, the three parts of the brains are situated like this. Okay, now we will move on to the central neural system. Okay, we know that the we have two types of system: the peripheral nervous system and central nervous system in the neural system. No, so first we will see about the central neural system, that is about the brain. First we will see about the brain in this video and about the spinal cord in the next video. Okay, brain has three parts. I told you already. The forebrain is also known as prosencephalon. Okay, the forebrain is also known as prosencephalon, mesencephalon, midbrain. Okay, midbrain. The rhombencephalon, also known as hindbrain. So these are the other terms we can say, not the true. Forebrain also known as prosencephalon. They are what to say? They have the forebrain is arisen from the prosencephalon. The midbrain has arisen from the mesencephalon, like that. The hindbrain has arisen from the rhombencephalon. Okay, we will enter into the human brain now. See this. Human brain is protected by our skull. Is all we know that from the small classes. This human brain, the skull protection is of two layers: the cranial bones and the facial bones. Okay, so cranial bones are 8 in number and facial bones are 14 in number. I will tell what are the bones in the bones video. Okay, so cranial bones are 8, note that, important. Facial bones are 14 in number. Okay, protective layers. Below this bones we have some fluidy layers. We will call that as cranial meninges. Okay, what are the protective layers below the bones? They are cranial meninges. This cranial meninges is again of three layers. What are these three layers means? See here: durometer, arachnoid mater, pia mater. So this is the outer part, middle, inner. Okay, so if you see this picture you will be able to clear. This is the durometer, the just below the cranial bones. Okay, and then this is the arachnoid mater, and this is the pia mater, the inner pia mater, the inner part. Okay, these are the three layers of the cranial meninges. Okay, so this outer durometer is a fibrous and fibrous tissue. They contains fibrous tissue, fibrous cells, and arachnoid contains connective, and pia mater is, these are the characteristic features of the cranial meninges. Fibrous characteristic features of durometer, and many of the connective tissues are within the arachnoid mater, and pia mater is very thin. So durometer is also known as hard mother. Note this, durometer is also known as hard mother, and the pia mater is also known as soft mother. Okay, what is subdural space? The space between the fluid present between durometer and arachnoid mater. Okay, this is subdural mater. This is durometer, arachnoid mater. Between this we have subdural mater. Again, pia mater and arachnoid mater. Between this we have subarachnoid space. Okay, so below the dura, so subdural. So below the dura, the subdural. Below the arachnoid, so subarachnoid. Okay, so forebrain. Forebrain is also known as prosencephalon. I told you, no? Prosencephalon. Prosencephalon. Okay, forebrain contains. Again, this prosencephalon is again of two types. What is that? Telencephalon and diencephalon. Prosencephalon, first one is telencephalon, and the second one is diencephalon. Okay, clear? So this telencephalon is of the part cerebrum. So if you see here, simple distinction of the inner and the outer part of the cerebrum. See clearly, the outer part is gray because they are non-myelinated, and this outer part has 4 lobes. The inner part of the cerebrum has white because they are myelinated. The myelin sheet gives the white texture. Okay, so the cerebrum, the outer part have gyri and sulci. The gyri and sulci, which I have drawn like this. Okay, so the two half cerebral hemispheres are connected by thick nerve fibers. What is that? Corpus callosum. Okay, corpus callosum connects the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. Now we will deal with the diencephalon. This diencephalon has epithalamus, thalamus, hypothalamus, and the limbic system. Okay, so epithalamus, smallest part, posterior end of the third ventricle. I have already put a video about the brain ventricles, so refer to that before watching this topic. So posterior end of the third ventricle. What is the posterior end of the third ventricle? It is epithalamus. Okay, thalamus. Thalamus wraps around the cerebrum, wraps the thalamus. Okay, cerebrum wraps around the thalamus. So this is the relay center. Why this is relay center? Because after reaching the brain, the information after reaching the brain, they have to go to the cerebrum only through thalamus. So thalamus acts as the relay center in the brain. Hypothalamus, they lie base of the thalamus. Okay, they lie base of the thalamus, and they end with pituitary gland. Okay, so they have major functions like secrete hormones. Okay, secrete hormones, and also they have many functions like they control body temperature, and also urge for eating, like they also have neurosecretory cells. Okay, neurosecretory cells also present. Next is limbic system. They are the sets of structures deal with emotion and memory. Emotion and memory, like the pleasure, the angriness, the desire, and the sexual act, all are controlled by the limbic system. This limbic system has two parts, that is amygdala, hippocampus. What is amygdala? They also refer to as almond shaped part of the brain. Hippocampus, they are responsible for memory because new neurons are generated over here. So it is no doubt that hippocampus are activated more when we learn more new things. So amygdala concerns with emotions. Okay, emotions, they concern with mainly learning. Okay, the concern mainly with learning. Okay, learning new things. Okay, so we have seen about telencephalon and diencephalon of prosencephalon. Now we will deal with mesencephalon. This is midbrain. So midbrain is also known as mesencephalon. Okay, mesencephalon. So okay, this midbrain have two pairs of lobes. What is that? Corpora quadrigemina. Okay, this corpora quadrigemina has four pairs. Okay, so upper two pair and lower two pair, like this they will be present. Okay, so the superior and the inferior. Superior colliculi they will called as colliculi. So superior colliculi is deal with the visual reflex, what we see. So visual reflexes, and the inferior colliculi deals with the auditory, what we hear is controlled by the inferior colliculi. And the cerebral aqueduct, the midbrain is actually located between, okay, they are located between thalamus, okay, located between thalamus and pons. Thalamus and pons. Okay, so uh, the canal connects this midbrain is known as cerebral aqueduct. Okay, cerebral aqueduct. With these parts that connects the midbrain is cerebral aqueduct. So what that connect the third ventricle with the fourth ventricle. Okay, which part of the brain connects the third ventricle with the fourth ventricle means cerebral aqueduct. Okay, next we will move on to the hindbrain. Hindbrain is also known as, okay, I will take some other color. Hindbrain is also known as rhombencephalon. Okay, rhombencephalon. Hindbrain is also known as rhombencephalon. Pons, the first part of the hindbrain. They act as a bridge between the cerebral cortex and the cerebellum. So they connect major parts of the brain and the cerebellum. So cerebellum acts as a support to the brain, that is support to the cortex, because they act as a space where large number of extra neurons can be concentrated. So second largest part of the brain, and we will call it as vermiform. And three layers means the superior peduncles, Purkinje layers, granular layers. So Purkinje layer means they have large cells which are called as Purkinje cells, and granular cells are smaller than Purkinje cells which are placed inner side. The cerebellum is mainly acting for involuntary actions, that is like autonomic nervous system is controlled by cerebellum majorly. Okay, so mainly we will see cerebellum to control the function of body balance. Okay, body balance is mainly controlled by cerebellum. Medulla oblongata, so posterior most of the entire brain. So they have the major function in respiration control, cardiovascular reflexes and gastric secretions. The respiration, the breathing control, and the cardiovascular secretions, reflexes, the pumping of our heart, and any other defects in the vessels are known by this medulla oblongata. And the gastric secretions, the secretions made in our stomach. Okay, next we will move on to the brain stem. Not much to know about brain stem. Okay, brain stem, the major part of the brain stem is midbrain. Okay, midbrain, then pons, and then medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata connects the the entire posterior most, correct? So the brain stem's major parts are midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. See, note this clearly. So brainstem major parts, these three, okay? So they act as the connection between what? Brain and spinal cord. Okay, we have seen about brain in this video. Okay, next we will see about the spinal cord, the next video, and about the reflex action too. Okay, if you have any doubt, please comment in the comment section.